A new 200 cubic pump and 3 rehabilitated pumps at the Trafalgar drainage pump station in West Berbice have been commissioned and will now significantly impact drainage capacity for the West Coast Berbice area. The new pump, a 750 kVA generator, and rehabilitation works at the station was executed at a cost of $191.4 million. The commissioning exercise was held on site Saturday. The Trafalgar facility will directly benefit 13,000 acres of land, predominantly rice fields and pastures for livestock, key contributors to Region 5's agriculture output. Speaking at the commissioning exercise, Agriculture Minister Zulfikar Mustafa said investments in improved drainage and irrigation across the country is a government policy that is leading to more production and productivity across the agriculture spectrum.
This project that we are commissioning this morning symbolizes the PPP civic government's commitment to the farmers and communities who rely heavily on a well-functioned drainage and irrigation system for their livelihood. You will agree with me that regions number 5, especially this part of the region, as Lionel rightly said, or the entire Region 5, is our main agricultural area in this country. The MMA scheme, the Mahika-Myconia-Bari Development Scheme, as I said, is one of the main agricultural area, and Dr. Waldron would have highlighted some of the projects that we have commenced and we have completed over the last 4 years. But prior to that, we have seen massive works being executed in Region 5. This area comprises approximately this crop, this rice crop, the first crop of 2025. For the first time in the longest while, I don't know when was the last, we cultivate or we will be cultivating 100,000 acres of rice. That will be a record-breaking cultivation, 100,000 acres. Leaving out, Dr. Waldron talked about the livestock area. And then we have the cash crop production. Also, there's a big or large areas in this Region 5 that comprises also cane cultivation. So you could see how important this area, Region number 5, is to the country's development in providing food security, not only for Region 5, not only for the country, but the region. The president was here not so long ago, and he declared this area, he declared Region number 5 the livestock capital of the Caribbean. That tells us how important your region is to our country's development and further afield.
Minister Mustafa stressed that government's plan is to build out a comprehensive drainage system that is designed to mitigate against incidences of flooding, systems that allow drainage even during high tides.
What we are doing now in this country, we are building a comprehensive drainage system. We are not only modernizing the drainage system, but we are building a comprehensive drainage system so that we can make these facilities more in line of what we want to do, a vision that our government has. I can remember when I became Minister of Agriculture just over 4 years ago in August of 2020. My immediate task, because I came to this region, the first area I visited upon my assumption to office as Minister of Agriculture was Region number 5. I can remember sworn in on a Friday, and I was here on a Saturday, listening to the farmers and hear what were their concerns. And I remember the burning concern at that time was drainage and irrigation. We didn't have a budget in 2020 at that time, but we had to commence work immediately to clear hundreds, if not thousands of kilometers of canals, rods of canals in this MMA scheme. And I remember going to the president with a request for $90 million. $90 million. The first expenditure I went to the president with, and he granted it, and we were able to clear thousands of rods of canal and fix the dams.
The Agriculture Minister warned that with elections due later this year, the architects of the decline in agriculture for the period 2015 to 2020 will come making many promises of how much better they will do this time around if given a chance. But he urged the Guyanese to look at the provisions of the 2025 budget laid in the National Assembly Friday and be aware of the provisions that will put more money in the pockets of every single Guyanese.
You will see all kinds of commitment and promises people will come and make. Last night, as the chairman, Mr. Holder, would have said, that only yesterday we saw the presentation of the largest budget in the history of our country. A budget that has measures for every single Guyanese, every group, every strata, every single villages in this country. We will see development. A budget that we will see where the disposable income of the small and ordinary men become more, or they will have more in their pockets to spend. And I can go through the measures in this year's budget. We have seen the growth, and I want to put this against the background of people when they talk about growth, and they talk about the fastest growing economy in the world, everything they are alluding to oil and gas. Yes, oil and gas is important for us. Oil and gas is bringing in large revenue for us to modernize the other sectors. But when you have 43% growth in the country's GDP, and out of that 43%, you have 13% coming from the non-oil sector. And besides that, you have 11% coming from the agriculture sector. That tells us something, that agriculture is alive and agriculture is moving forward.
Earlier in the program, Acting CEO of the Guyana Livestock Development Authority, GLDA, Dr. Dwight Waldron, said the new drainage capacity upgrade will be a catalyst to the continued growth and development of livestock farming in Region 5.
Why Region 5 is important also, we would have had a number of strategic investments in the region which was geared towards livestock production, and also to bring money to you, the farmers. We have, not far from here, the milk plant. We have soon to commission the abattoir. We have a number of pasture projects. We have a 65-acre plot, which will be in operation pretty soon, and some other projects which the chairman would have alluded to earlier. Why I'm mentioning those is because there's a very close correlation between what is happening here with this pump and those projects. For if you look back at the last 4 years, dairy production has been taken tremendous hit from the harsh weather conditions that we've been experiencing. And thanks to the interventions from the MME and NDIA, we were able to weather the storm to an extent. And if you look at the trajectory of our production in dairy, you will see that we're gaining substantially from those investments. Additionally, beef is one of the price commodity emanating out of Region 5. And also, when you look at the data, and that is important to note, our decisions are not being made by somebody meeting the minister at the head of the road and say, well, we need X or Y. No, it's data driven. And when we look at the mortality of calves within the Abari Basin due to excess moisture, due to flood, again, I'm bringing those points to you for you to see the close correlation between the pump and having those issues addressed. One of the questions that will be posed is, how impactful will this be to the livestock sector moving forward? Those of you who would have listened to the budget speech yesterday will have the answer. Apart from that, we were charged a few years ago by His Excellency to ensure that efficiency be the key word in whatever we do, to ensure that our farmers are in a position to make money, to gain a livelihood out of whatever they're doing. And only a few minutes ago, I was in conversation with one such farmer who would have benefited from some of our interventions, and he is satisfied to the point where he wants now to move on to another level to ensure that other farmers are given an opportunity to benefit.
Minister Mustafa and team from his ministry and the Regional Democratic Council of Region 5 later toured the Trafalgar facility. Apart from witnessing the cutting of the ceremonial ribbon, Minister Mustafa also started the pumps, signaling the start of operations.